and gentlemen, a pleasant evening to you. I look for... I'm kidding, that's not how I speak. Not at all. What a beautiful voice and what an eloquence in introduction, right? And so I think we should give him a round of applause for that exceptional introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a little confession to make about something. They say confession is good for the soul. Even before I do the salutations and greet all the distinguished individuals here. This is the second time in my entire life and my career, and I give keynote speeches all the time, ACP and commandant. I give a lot of keynote speeches. But it's the second time that I've given a keynote speech after 10 p.m. Right? Now, you wouldn't believe that the first time I was called to the podium at 11:31 p.m. And that was by the Jamaica Defense Force as a mess, So I have to now conclude that the security forces like to have keynote speeches late in the night. It's a feature that we have to get accustomed to, and that's fine, right? And so I am grateful to be here. I left another event and rushed to be here because when I got the invitation, it was clear to me that this was a critical moment. I want to therefore pause to greet ACP, your director, Mr. Watson. I want you to give him a round of applause because where you see the product being as exceptional as this, it comes as a feature of good leadership. And that therefore also extends to Superintendent Ogilvy, Commandant. Give him a massive round of applause. I tell you, I met him quite recently, but I must tell you that there's an intellectual fervor and curiosity and depth and substance about the gentleman that I quite admire. And I believe that it is a testament to where the Jamaica Constabulary Force has come to. It is a good look, and I think you should appreciate what you have. Now, I always hear the expression, all protocols observed, but you're going to bear with me because I'm just going to say, as best as I can, I want to greet all the commandants, deputy commandants, all the instructors, everyone who is a part of this very distinguished gathering. And I should confess that this is also the first time in my entire life that I'm probably the most underdressed person in any occasion, right? In fact, I've been accused a few times of being the most overdressed wherever I go. It just so happened that this is my 7th engagement for the day. And as I was going through my day, event after event, speech after speech, I started dressing down a little bit and I lost the tie as I came. And then I walked in and I saw all the razzle dazzle and I said, hold on, wrong day that I've lost the tie. But I really want you, this is the only problem I have with the event, soup. Everybody here is who we're applauding and celebrating, so there's nobody here to clap them. So they have to keep clapping themselves. So I'm going to ask that you bear with me and still clap yourselves, right? Because it's a really phenomenal thing that I've seen today. The place has been transformed. I've been here a few times. I've never seen it look like this. The people have stepped out, and your director said resplendent. I want to add a few adjectives. I want to say that you are incandescent. You are fluorescent. Could we find some more? I'm sure we could find some more, but I'd have to use other languages, right? But I'm seeing all the wonderfully put together outfits, and I am not jealous. I'm not jealous at all, and I will say this, I don't have the power like some others have. I went to an event once where I had on my tie this time, as I'm known to do. And somebody started walking around the event and said, everybody have to take off your tie. So what? You have to take off your tie. Take off your tie. So of course, it's a little weird, but we were following instructions. We were invited. It turned out that the guest of honor was coming and didn't have on a tie. And so the instruction was, I won't tell you who it was, because nobody will leave here and say, I said that. But it was, needless to say, it was someone who could command people to take their ties off. And so here's the joke. We took our ties off and awaited the arrival of the most distinguished guest. And you hear me say most, so you know it's who. Would you believe that the guest arrived in a tie? So he didn't have on a tie, and somebody somehow found a tie and gave to him, and we had already taken our ties off And so he was the only one in a tie. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see this presentation and representation of what's happening here today. And I left an ambassadorial event to come here, and I must tell you the truth. Everything about this event, no disrespect to the ambassadors event. So I went there and I saw maybe 2 or 3 ambassadors. And then I came here and I saw a sea of ambassadors. A sea of ambassadors. A sea of individuals who I want to look at each and every one of you and say, Your Excellency, because what you project and what you produce is excellence. And so that makes me excited. And I see the excellence not just in you who are seated here. I see the excellence at the head table. I see the excellence in the trainees who are serving us. Give them a round of applause. I mean, I was very surprised that y'all didn't pull them from a hospital to school somewhere. And then I see the excellence in the band. Give them a round of applause. So you'll understand my excitement. I'm a musician too, you see? So when you saw me almost getting my neck in a crick position to keep looking around here, so it's because I kept being wowed moment by moment. So I really want to give them their due and their recognition. And the last thing, or penultimate thing I will say in my opening is, you see, I got you back. I know why you called me late in the evening for the keynote, because it guarantees that it's going to be a short keynote, right? No, oops, I got you, I have the mic. And I'm not going to be short, I'm kidding. But I wanted to say to you that the evidence for me, for some reason I'm a magnet to police. I don't know why. Any of you can guess? I don't know why. Police always stop me. Alright? I don't know what it is about me on the road. Why I'm not doing anything, I'm not speeding. I'm not on my phone. Well, there's, the vehicle I drive, well, you know, I drive 2 different vehicles and it don't matter which one I drive. They stop me anyway. And that's fine, but you know what I'm giving that example for? Is that throughout the years, the last 2 decades, I've been stopped multiple times. And I must tell you, that in the last few years, the courtesy and the mode of operation and the engagement of these young officers in the streets is a significant shift. And that tectonic shift, ladies and gentlemen, is because of the FIPT and the college at large. And I think, again, you have to give yourselves a massive round of applause for that. The last thing I will ask is, Commandant, how can I be a part of FIPT? I want to be a part of FIPT. Alright. I hear I'm now an automatic member of the FIPT. He thinks I mean as a faculty and I actually mean as a student. I need to get into this space that is producing all this excellence, right? And so I greet all distinguished individuals this evening, and I wanted to make the point that Jamaica has started to understand the value of education and training. It's starting to sit, it's starting to resonate, it's starting to connect in the minds of the average Jamaican that this is the way that we transform a developing country to developed country status. And that's the role that you play. And that's why it's a beautiful thing for me, because I know that when you're in your training roles and you are at the college, many of you are militant, as you must be, for there's a certain decorum and discipline that is necessary to produce the kind of quality I'm now seeing in the streets. But it's also beautiful to me that when Petra can sing Mentor and everybody can drop legs, it tells me that there is a certain soul and heart and spirit that resides in these valuable human beings who operate out of the police college in Jamaica. And you are a cut above the rest. I was giving a keynote in Antigua 2 weeks ago, and they've come to ask me, and I'm going to have to ask Superintendent Ogilvy to help me. They've asked me to help them establish a proper police college in Antigua. I don't know about that. I'm going to have to come to the experts to assist with that kind of thing. But Jamaica is always leading the game in these areas. And so members of the Faculty of Initial and Probationary Training, what you represent in my mind, and this is the hook that we will speak about today, what you represent is what I call the hinge of our society. You are the hinge of our society. So the hinge, as you know, is that thing that holds it all together and makes it function and makes it move. And the challenge that our society faces, and it's not just a thing that is unique to Jamaica, it is a Caribbean problem, it's a global problem, that we have human beings in our space who are unhinged. And when people are unhinged, you have chaos in society. That's a simple fact. When people are unhinged, they say anything, they do anything. And it causes a particular shift in the ethos in the spaces where they operate. There are leaders, and I don't think I'm streaming live, so I should be able to keep my visa, who when they speak now, cause confusion globally. And so I want to get back to this notion of a hinge and what you represent for our society. The fantastic work that the Jamaica Constabulary Force continues to do. Yes, it is a feature of excellent policy. Yes, it is a feature of operational excellence. Yes, it is a feature of well-executed tactical operations. Yes, it is a feature of the technology that is being embraced by the force. Yes, it is a feature of an excellent commissioner. But here is what it is mostly a feature of. It is a feature of the indoctrination and the excellent training that happens in the FIPT. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this without fear of contradiction, and you can tell anybody to find me anywhere and attempt to debate me on this. Where a police force operates at the level of excellence that you are contributing to, it means our society automatically improves. So I don't want you to take it lightly. I don't want you for a minute to think you are in the walls of a police college and therefore that is the extent of your reach. Your reach is national, your reach is regional. I will tell you your reach is actually global, because many of the members you have trained have gone on to take on other spaces and have transformed those spaces. Their ability to transform rests on the fact that you were able to transform them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to connect those dots for you so you understand the ripple effect of all you have done and all you continue to do. So in this complex machinery of the constabulary force, the spotlight often falls on many other things, but tonight I want to place the spotlight squarely and firmly on you. As a faculty of initial and probationary training, your role requires a very rare duality. It's a duality that has you being the pivotal connection between people who don't understand yet what their purpose may be and finding that purpose in this great institution. And it is also a frontline reality, because yours is a frontline reality. I heard Mr. Ogilvy talking about that frontline reality earlier. So you have that rare duality in your function and you perform it well. So you're not simply present within a system, you're an important cog within that system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the hinge that makes it all turn. And so I want to encourage you as I'm getting to the closing. Somebody say amen. Amen. I'm not only a musician, I'm a man of the cloth. Don't get me preaching here. Faculty and staff, accountability and consistency will be critical as we talk about your very important theme. It says elevating law enforcement standards through accountability and quality systems. The CMU is keen on quality systems. We just came through an ISO exercise, and once again we're ISO certified. We're the most audited institution in the Caribbean because we're accredited by about 6 or 7 bodies, and all of them have to do audits every year. Quality is an important part, but that requires accountability and consistency. A lapse in standards, a variation in those standards, a variation in enforcement, any moment of uncertainty can carry very immediate consequences. And so accountability must be evident every day in how you operate. Accountability must be at your very core. You train individuals not just for the roles that they perform, but you train them to be able to transfer those roles even outside of their spaces. Do you know this? You are giving them transferable skills that will make them amazing individuals in society. I'll give you a very quick anecdote as I'm getting to the end. I'm trained in tourism. The commandant would have told you. I put all my eggs in one basket. My first degree, my master's, and my PhD are all tourism. So if tourism collapsed, then God help me, right? Except I'm not working in maritime, right? And that's the point of the example I'm trying to give. That I'm tourism trained. There is a clear nexus between maritime and tourism, and I'm sure you get it. But I'm also the chairman of a fund, a pension fund. I've never had pension training. I'm also the chairman of the National Education Trust. I don't know construction. Well, I know construction now, but I've never been formally trained in construction. I'm a commissioner on the Financial Services Commission. I've never been a financial regulator before that happened. I'm on the National Water Commission. I'm not an engineer. I am on, what else am I? I'm on the Express Catering Limited and other things. What is the point that I'm making? There were some skills that I got early in life from exceptional teachers, from exceptional instructors, from individuals just like you, who placed something inside of me that enabled me to straddle multiple spheres. And when I straddled those spheres, I didn't only exist in them, I excelled in them because of people who invested in me at the foundational stage. That is what you're doing. Hold that dearly. I applaud you. I celebrate you in this moment and encourage you to keep that standard of truth going. This standard of truth is an uncompromising badge of honor, fusion of quality and discipline that you model daily for all recruits to ultimately embody. It is a further internal calibration of the JCF's motto, to serve and protect. So a salute to your role. We often speak of the doors of opportunity or the gates of justice, but without a hinge, ladies and gentlemen, those doors remain locked and those gates remain barriers. I want to repeat that for you. We often talk about doors of opportunity and gates of justice, but without the hinge, those doors remain locked and those gates remain only barriers. So faculty and staff, continue to serve as that hinge. Carry that with pride and with an immense sense of responsibility. Own your craftsmanship, wear your craftsmanship for all the world to see. Today we acknowledge your resilience. We recognize that the stability of this entire nation rests on your shoulders. And so I thank you for your unwavering commitment, for your professional excellence, and for being the steady force that elevates the standards of this beloved Jamaica. May God bless you, and may you give yourselves a standing ovation in this moment. Give yourselves that final round of applause. Stand on your feet, because this moment warrants that you be acknowledged. And I'm going to ask you to do something else. I'm going to ask you to now sit while I invite the head table to remain standing while we give you a round of applause for all that you do. Thank you. Thank you. Keep the fire blazing. And I hope that the next time I'm stopped in the streets, it will not be any of you. Thank you very much.